Hey everybody, welcome to the next project. Today we've got a 2005 PRS Core 24 in some kind of brilliant, beautiful blue with a black back. It is in for kind of a quick setup tune-up, but also stainless frets. Wait a minute, that's not quick nor... anyway, yeah. Stainless frets on a 2005 Core 24 as we start the next project. As soon as the guitar rolled in the door, it went right to my bathroom countertop workbench, and I started taking notes of everything I could think of. String action height at the first fret, string gauges. We checked the relief, we checked the action at the 12th and 24th fret, checked out the bridge, make sure it was level and looking good. Just took note after note after note. Did a body review too to make sure, document any nicks or dings that there might be. We're ready to move on. Still working at the bathroom countertop workbench, and it's time to start pulling some frets. These actually are pretty nice PRS secret sauce nickel wire frets, I guess. We decided to remove them and replace them with stainless steel of the same size. So first, the old frets have to come out of the neck. So I did add some heat, used a little solder to help transfer the heat. I know people have a debate about that, if heat is even needed. These frets were glued in, actually along the high and low E on both sides. Not down the middle, though. And there was quite a bit of goop glue in the fret slots, which I was also very surprised how deep the fret slots are on this guitar. They're about 4.5 millimeters deep at the crown. So all those debates that I've witnessed over the years about, if fret slots should be just a hair bit deeper than the Tang, well, PRS didn't seem to worry about it in 2005. Overall, everything's going really well. Some of these frets were jumping right out of the fret slots as I was removing them. Heating it up cooked the glue on either side, so once I got the little nippers underneath it, the frets came out really well. Here I'm actually in the garage, finally. It's about time. We are verifying the straightness of the neck, adjusting the truss rod, which PRS also has a proprietary special. It's a single rod, but it's a dual action rod. If you crank it one way, it'll move the neck in one direction. If you turn it the other way, it bows the neck in the other direction. Pretty clever truss rod. So I'm taping things off. I did clean out the fret slots to get the glue out of the slots on the bass and treble sides. Now I'm using a 10-inch radius 3D printed block and cleaning up the fretboard just a little bit. Not changing the radius, just getting rid of any little bumps and wiggles that there may be. Blowing the dirt out of the fret slots. And honestly, I probably should have vacuumed this out, but the vacuum was way over there and the air compressor was right within reach. Here I'm using an X-Acto knife to clean out the fret slots, make sure there's no crud down in there that will be a problem later. Using a little bitty triangular file to just clean up the top edge, put just the ever so slightest V on all the fret slots at the top. I want to make it easy for the frets to go in. It's, all these little things, it takes quite a bit of time. And honestly, I probably didn't need to do this step. The frets press in really well later on. We are putting Jescar wire in this. What was it, a 47104? I'll have to look. I'll post it here somewhere. Fret wire is purchased from Philadelphia Luthier Supply. Bought a pre-cut pack. I think I got 25 pieces, all pre-radiused, so that's nice. Pretty much all ready to go. Nipping it just a little long, and then also cutting the Tang back, so it's about maybe a 30-second shy of the width of the neck, and that's just so there'll never be any Tang sprout coming through, which I would imagine PRS has pretty well controlled lumber, so the neck shouldn't be moving too much, but, you know, the weather does wicked things to guitars. There's using the StewMac fret Tang nipper. It's a pretty good machine. It cuts through the stainless wire pretty well. On another project I worked on recently, I used the StewMac big fret Tang nipper and then my case nibbler to do the fine tuning work, but not today. Here we're going to be pressing in the frets, and I'm using my fret crusher, for lack of a better marketing term. It bolts directly to the top of my bench, and the pressing arm can swivel all the way around, way out of the way. Oh, and secret weapon, chapstick. That is my wax that I'm using on either side of the fret slots. And since I am using a medium viscosity super glue, the chapstick just keeps the super glue from sticking to anything I don't want it to, basically. The fret crusher's going along here pretty good. I'm still learning best practice with that. And on this guitar, I should have had the clamping or the pressure arm set like 1 or 2 notches higher, so it was a little bit more level as I was pressing, but it worked out really well. So, 3 or 4 more guitars, I'll have it all figured out. Back to the topic at hand. This PRS is going good. Frets are pressing in really well, giving them a little tap and then a little pressure. The glue is just there for, well, whatever the glue is going to do. These frets are in. I doubt they'll ever come out. Let's see, what else can we say about this? I did use a fractal press with this fret crusher a little while ago. I'm kind of on the fence. It's a really cool tool, but since this is a single radius neck, I kind of felt I didn't need it. I really enjoyed the width of a standard radius call. I could press in the whole fret in one shot. And when I was using the fractal press, I have to press in one spot, slide the neck over a little bit, press in the other part, because the fractal press isn't quite wide enough to get the whole width of the fret pressed in one shot. But it's a cool tool, and I will continue to use it on other projects. And there we go. We've got them all pressed in. It's looking pretty good. It's nice that's done. We have just witnessed the Crusher Fret Press Installer tool right here, right now. It is a homemade device. I made it like over the weekend just for, or driven by, the need to install frets way up on the neck on set neck guitars. I do have an arbor press and Jaws style clamp press and hammers to install frets, and that all works great. Each tool has its place where it shines. Anyway, I developed this other tool, which, is like a can crusher, if you've ever seen one of those, and probably a number of other tools for pressing things. It was really just to hold, originally I was planning to use like the Edwards fractal press type thing, and also my standard fret call press to use these, and I actually did use these radius calls to install these frets. So that was the reason I built this extra tool to do a job. And I will be refining it over the next couple of guitars. I have 2 more lined up that need frets right away. As we've seen, the frets came out of this fingerboard really well. They were glad to go. They're like, we're out of here. Fingerboard cleaned up really well. Truss rod works great. New frets are 47104 Jescar stainless steel frets. Great stuff. Got those from Philadelphia Luthier Supply in the United States. If you're somewhere else in the world, I can't help you. I don't know. So they're all glued in with a medium viscosity super glue, cyanoacrylate glue, super glue. So they're all glued in kind of down the middle, about up to about 1/8 of an inch, 2 or 3 millimeters from the edges of the board. Frets are pressed in. All the fret tangs are nipped back just a little bit narrower than the width of the board, and that is so I can fill the ends of the fret slots and touch up the finish on the sides of the fingerboard. but we'll get to that in a little bit. Now we're going to straighten the neck, truss roddy kind of thing, and hit the tops of the frets with a leveling beam. They look really good though. The neck was super flat, looked great. The frets all pressed in great, so I'm expecting to have to do very little touch-up rolling, leveling with a beam on this. Then it will get strung up and we'll touch up the leveling, understring, under tension leveling then. Another step. Then everything will come apart again. As we continue the next project. So the flat leveling, step 1, is underway. And here I've stepped aside and checking the progress, looking for any odd spots using a Fret Guru XT, I believe it is there. Yeah, that's the XT. I'm using it as a fret rocker in this instance, just looking for any anomalies, any high spots there might be, anything that's a little bit in question. And then we're going to go back and continue flat leveling. And I'm just basically dragging my hand across. I'm not pushing down at all, letting the weight of the beam, and you can see it's a hollow aluminum beam, letting that do all the work. I think it was 320 grit paper at this point too. So with the flat leveling out of the way, I've gone ahead and restrung the guitar. I have brought it up to tune, to concert pitch. And I am here propping up the strings with a long, wide string jack. I'm not sure what we should call it. Taking a Rectify Master Katana, trimming off a piece of 320 grit stick-it paper, slide it underneath the strings, and start gently working back and forth. You can see I'm not pressing down hard. I'm letting the weight of the tool, which isn't much, do all the work. Really letting the sandpaper do the work. I'm not in a hurry. Just want to get the job done right. As I'm working this, I'm letting the weight of the tool do the work, and I'm doing very short X pattern strokes. I'm not like doing full length strokes across the neck. I'm moving, an inch and a half maybe, in kind of a X pattern. If there is any relief set to the neck or the katana, I want to keep it in its zone. I don't want to be dragging a relieved beam across the neck. Short strokes? That sounds weird. Anyway, the understring leveling, I know some people are saying it's, snake oil, whatever. And that's fine. If that's what you believe, then enjoy life. If you've tried it and were surprised by the nuances you can get from using it, hey, that's great. I think I made the comment one time, this is like icing on the cake. So we're just hopefully making things better as we go. Oh boy, it's a new tool day, new to me. This is another Fret Guru tool. It is a compact steel cut tooth file. And I'm not typically much of a fan of itty bitty short files because my hands cramp up. But I had an opportunity to pick this up and I thought I'd give it a try. And I've been torture testing it actually. This is the first full guitar that I've used it on. And I don't know why I did a full neck with this thing. That goes against everything I believe in. But I thought it'd be a good torture test for the tool. It's stainless frets, which are not a friend of any file. And a compact file, which is typically not a friend of me. But I gotta say, this thing actually worked pretty well. Would I use it on a full neck again? Probably not, because I'm old and stuck in my ways. But this did the job, actually. We have to keep in mind that these frets were pretty good. There wasn't a big flat, leveled spot that I had to work out. I had a fairly narrow crown to start with, so I just was cleaning that up with this tool. It did a good job. What was my takeaway? There was something I was thinking about it. Oh, it does work actually pretty darn well up over the body, where you don't really have a lot of room for a big long file. Now, I had used, a StewMac compact centered file. I'm not really a fan of that, the compact. First, it had really sharp edges. My hand cramped up using it. The grip, that rubber band grip, I didn't care for that. This thing is pretty intuitive. It has this rubbery grip that presses onto the files, and your fingers just kind of automatically know where to go. So anyway, pretty good. I'll be using it again, I think. Time to do a little bit of touch up. We have all the fret slots that needed just a little bit of attention because PRS had cut deep fret slots in this neck and then glued their frets in along the end and then clear coated over everything. Well, paint and clear coated over everything. So I'm coming along, putting new frets in, and I have a little bit of fret slot gap to fill. So I use some of this SolarEz or Solar Ease or Solar Easy. I know I say this every time. Product. I put a little bit of ebony dust in the slot. Originally, I super glued some of that in a couple spots where it really needed it. Then I used this SolarEz UV Cure stuff, put it in there, hit it with a little bitty UV flashlight, which sets it off really quick. Did a little bit of quick sanding. And now I'm polishing it up, and really, you probably couldn't tell that it wasn't a factory finish on there. It went really well. Looks good. And also, there were some chips from, 20 years of use along the sides of the neck, so I cleaned those up and touched them up as well. Here we're just using some rosin on a buffing wheel and my drill and giving it some shine. We're doing some more polishing of the fingerboard itself. Look at that. It's nice when tools work. This actually worked pretty well. We're getting really close to the end. The new frets are in. They're nipped back, beveled, radiused on the ends. What else? We've done a flat leveling of the neck. We've strung it up with the old strings. We've done an under tension leveling. Removed the strings. Removed the nut too, the original nut. We've done our crowning, testing out a new tool, the Fret Guru Shark Fin. Worked pretty well, actually. We've got it taped up now. Actually, I did run a buffer over everything, as we saw. That's to clean up the fret slot ends, which I had filled and cleaned all that up. Had to fix some original chips and things that were along the edge of the fingerboard. Got that all taken care of. Now we're ready to do some polish sanding and polishing, but honestly, after I polished the fingerboard up really good, could just string it up and send it out the door, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use the grip tool with some very fine paper on it, probably 1200 paper or something like that. Clean up any other little file marks or leveling marks that might be in the frets, which I'm having a hard time seeing it. But we're going to do that. Then I'll be ready to put a new nut on, put new springs on the trim system, string it up, verify our relief, get it tuned to pitch, get our string slot depths at the nut cut, get our action set, and we'll be ready to check the intonation, get that all verified, stretch the strings as we go, and this thing will be about ready to go out the door at that point, right? I think so. I'll probably give it a good cleaning everywhere too, but, anyway. Well, let's continue with the next project. Man, we've got some shiny frets. That's looking good. That is really nice. Stainless steel frets shine up great, and they hold their shine pretty well. You can dent them and ding them and scratch them, but they're definitely tougher than nickel. Here I'm using Mother's Mag Polish, using my custom applicator. I think that was index finger applicator, right? Yeah. Dremel style tool. This is an old Craftsman rotary tool, actually, with a little bit of, a felt wool pad? I don't know, little buffing wheel on the end of it. Just polishing everything up. You spend, 5 to 10 seconds on each fret, and just zip on down the line. Man, these things are looking good. This project is really going well. No terrible surprises, which is always nice. Look at that. Whew. Beautiful. Even though the factory frets that were in this guitar originally were 20 years old, that PRS proprietary nickel wire, whatever it is, they were still in pretty good shape. They probably would not hold a candle to this. This is looking really, really, really good. The original nut has been removed and a new replacement nut is in place. We're taking a look at it, seeing how it fits, and realizing there's some factory glue stuck in the nut slot there. So we got to clean all that up and then get the new nut sanded just a little bit to fit the profile of the nut slot. A little sanding. Gotta love sanding. Everybody loves sanding. Even this kind of sanding. Drop of super glue. Actually, too big of a drop of super glue. I had to scrape a little bit of that away. Only need enough to hold the nut in place. Doesn't have to do anything. Just so when you take the strings off, the nut doesn't mysteriously fall down the radiator vent or something, All right, we are finally stringing this baby up. She's just about done. Now, I need to say, I did put new springs on this also, but really crappy videography of that, so we're not even going to take a look at that. But new springs went in, and I have to tell you, putting springs on this thing was a bear. PRS puts a strange little kink in the part of the spring that goes into the trim block. It's a pain to get them out, and it was a bigger pain to get the new ones in, and I should get hazard pay for that. Back to the show. Here we are adjusting the new nut string slot depths to get it all down and uniform. It had really low string action at the first fret when I received it, but it was kind of wonky. It was like 10, 12, 14, 10, 16, 14. It was a little all over the place. So I've got it changed. I think I went from, did I go 10 up to 15? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. I don't know. Pretty low and uniform gradual steps, slightly getting a greater space at the first fret as you go from treble to bass. And, it takes a little time. It's drop the string in, measure it, pull it out, do a little more filing, drop the string in, measure it, lather, rinse, repeat. But, that's how I spend my weekends. Keeps me off the streets, keeps me out of trouble. And everybody should stretch and exercise. No, that was not me playing. And yes, I need to continue learning. Well, I just need to learn how to play guitar. I can't play guitar. Thank you very much for hanging out with me through this project. It's been a lot of fun. This is the first USA PRS that I've worked on, so that was kind of a learning curve. Some interesting things in there. Pretty good quality build overall for a 20-year-old guitar, too. I don't know what they're doing today. What else? Let's see. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'd greatly appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up button. Lets YouTube know you like stuff like this, and I like to know that too. What else? Subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell for future notifications, and please leave comments. Love hearing from everybody all around the world. We've got a really great family growing all the time. Until next time, take care of yourself and those around you. Bye.